Okay, in this screencast, we're going to talk about how to describe data. So as you can see here, I have a list of 30 students' measurements for height and shoe size. They're not in order. They're just paired up quickly the way that I got the measurements. So if you want to talk about data, one of the easiest ways to do this is to either organize it, so I'd have to put them in order based on height or shoe size, or you can simply make a graph. So I started by making a histogram of the heights, and you can see that the most heights that I had were between 64 and 66 inches, and the least was between 58 and 60. Because this is shaped kind of like this, it kind of goes up, it has a little bit of what we call skewing to it, which means that more of our students are towards the taller end because we've got more people that are down here towards the taller end. So that's something simple that you can say. You can also talk about where on here your mean or your median would be. It's very easy to see the mode is going to be somewhere in here, but we can't pick out the specific mode because we have these bars set up the way they are. So that's one way to talk about the data. Here I did shoe sizes. So you can see we range from a 1.5 man shoe size to a 10.5. So we have more of a spread here. Most of our data is pretty equal in the middle. This actually takes on what we call a bell curve because it's kind of shaped like a bell would be. And again, you can find where your mean and your median would be. You can talk about the mode is most likely somewhere in here because this is the tallest bar. And I also made a scatter plot. And when you make a scatter plot, it keeps the person's height and shoe size together as one point. So you can talk about, we have a lot of people that are falling in here in maybe 62. We have a bunch of people falling in here in 65. We don't necessarily have any clusters because the points are spread out. We do have this one person down here who is pretty short and has also a pretty small foot. You might want to talk about relationships that you see. So it looks to me in general like the taller you get, the bigger your foot is going to get. And if you think logically, that does make sense. In part 2, we'll look at some more data and talk about how you can talk about some things that happen that are a bit out of the ordinary.